Good morning, Abraham. I want to start off by saying I stand in great appreciation for this moment to you, Esther, and Jerry. Thank you.
We are all having a very good time together, aren't we?
Yes, we are. I'm missing the signal. I'm catching the signal in other areas of my life, but this relationship thing, I'm just off. And I think, if I'm understanding correctly, if I'm missing that signal, it's throwing me off in the other areas of my life. Am I correct by assuming that?
You are using this discomfort over this one subject as a reason to point upstream quite a bit. And since everything you want's downstream, when you use this one issue that matters so much as your reason to hold yourself in resistance, then yes, you are holding yourself in resistance to many of the things that are in your vibrational escrow. First, we want to say to you how nice it is when you say, here's where I am, I'm missing the signal, I don't have what I want. And you realize that just your acknowledgement that you don't have what you want is turning you upstream. Mm-hmm. So you have to find a way of softening where you are and making it feel better.
Okay.
In other words, feel the difference between saying, I haven't found what I want yet, and saying, I'm probably never going to find it. I'm probably never going to find it is really more upstream than it hasn't come yet, which is softer, yes? So when you sit here and you say, I'm missing the signal. Now, we know you wanted to honor us by using our analogy, but this is the way you feel. And the way you feel is a constant signal that you're offering. This manifestation of this missing relationship, this manifestation, this is an indication of vibration, period. It's not the way it's meant to be. It doesn't mean you've done something wrong. It doesn't mean that it's not going to change. It means as long as your dominant vibration about a relationship is based on what you're seeing, then it can't change. So this is what people do. This is what is, they say. This is what is, don't like it, this is what is. This is what is, don't like it, this is what is. And we say, you've got to start telling a different story. So even when you sat down, you told the same story. I don't have the relationship, only you've updated your story. Now you're not just complaining you don't have the relationship. Now you're explaining, I don't have the relationship because I'm missing the signal, but it's the same story, isn't it?
Okay, yes.
So you have to tell a different story. Can you hear us? We know that this sounds a little boring as we tell you the same thing again and again. But this is the piece that we really want you to understand. Nothing can change until the way you feel changes. And most people say, well, then give me something different and I'll feel different. And we say, doesn't work that way. You got to feel different and then you'll get something different. A woman said, Abraham, I don't think you care if my lover ever comes. I think you just want me to get so good at imagining him that I don't notice he isn't here. And we said, that's exactly right. Because when you get over that feeling of the absence of him, then you're not holding yourself in resistance to the presence of him, and then he must come. So many say, well, I'll just distract myself with other things. Well, that's good if you can. You don't have to think about a relationship ever again. You've thought about it enough that you have put such a magnificent relationship in your vibrational escrow that if you never thought about it again, you would have no resistance about that. And since there's very little resistance in your vibration about anything else, it would come right in.
Okay.
So let's do that work here and now.
Okay.
Talk to us about what it feels like from where you are in relationship to a relationship.
Not that one in particular? You mean in general?
Make general statements. Now remember, this work is to close the gap regarding the relationship. And the relationship is waiting for you in vibrational escrow. So speak in ways that turn you downstream. That is the work.
Okay. When I think about being in a relationship in general, it feels good.
You see what's going on? You've been beating the drum about this specific thing for so long that even talking about relationship turns you upstream automatically. And so you keep thinking that the reason that we called you forward and the reason that you're sitting here and the reason that you came, you keep thinking that the reason that you exist at all is so you can get this guy. And
that's exactly how I feel.
And we want you to understand that the reason that you even want this person is because the idea of him, what he represents to you, is so much that you've incrementally put into your vibrational escrow. So he is an example of what's over there waiting for you. And we're not for a moment talking you out of wanting him. We're just saying you can't get there from there. You have to take an emotional journey, because when you try to take the action journey, you know too much. Your logic tells you that it is illogical and it turns you upstream. And to really want something that you really don't believe is really uncomfortable.
Okay.
And you can't cover it up with words. You have to shift the way you feel.
Okay, I understand. Should I take his face off? Because this is how I feel.
Well, of course you should, because his face represents what you don't believe, while the idea of a relationship is more believable. And this is the thing that we're wanting you to realize. You want to find ease. We're trying to guide you toward ease, not toward that relationship. That's what we meant earlier. We want to guide you toward ease, because in the ease, there's no resistance. In the ease, there's turning and going with the flow. In the going with the flow, there's moving toward what you want. And in moving toward what you want, there's discovery of what you want.
Okay.
So take him out of the equation and put what he represents into the equation, because it's easier to turn in general terms about a relationship. So what is it about a magnificent relationship that you are so excited about?
I'm excited about the companionship. I'm excited about the fun we would have, the adventure we would have. I'm excited about the wonderful conversations we would have, the getting to know each other. The loving feelings, being able to adore him and him adore me.
All right, now we think you're picturing him so much as you are expressing it, that while you're using better sounding words, your vibration doesn't shift at all.
I'm picturing him, the guy, the one I said I was not going to picture. You see that?
Funny how it works, isn't it?
I'm not sure.
So step back in your conversation a little bit, even to a more general place. In other words, step back into what you do know that already feels good. I'm really nice to be with, and I really like co-creating with others. And I have a lot of people that I enjoy co-creating with. And it's always fun to hook up with someone that you really can spend a lot of time with. And you get all those inside jokes going on, and you're co-creating together, and you can just look at each other and know that you've done this together.
Wasn't I saying that?
Well, we've stepped back a notch from where you were.
Okay.
Continue. We're not here to point out the flaws in what you're doing.
Okay, so where did I just go wrong? You saw that I had his face on the...
This is the most important thing.
Okay.
You can't go wrong because everything's moving.
Okay.
The whole point is just to keep talking until you feel yourself relaxing. What you were saying was more downstream than where you started, but then we started feeling, as you got more specific, you started turning more upstream. As the more you talked, the more he came back into view, and how you feel about him not coming started to play a bigger part in your vibration. We were just wanting you to step back from the specifics just enough so that you could begin turning downstream a little more.
Okay. Wow, Abraham, you're awesome. Okay, that just helped me, because one of my questions was I wanted to understand the feeling of moving into that place.
The feeling of making it happen is always upstream. The feeling of wrestling him to the ground and convincing him you're right is always upstream. The feeling of figuring out where he is and lurking and stalking him is all upstream. In other words, all of that is upstream. What's downstream is knowing who you are. What's downstream is knowing that you are source energy. What's downstream is knowing that you get whatever you want. What's downstream is knowing that your life has caused you to make a magnificent relationship. What's downstream is understanding that even meeting this one and feeling all excited about this one, is the trail lighting up for you to let you know that what you have been amassing in vibrational escrow is possible, and there is a symbol of it. In other words, in the same way that what you see is so much what you like, but there is the not able to come to you now thing that's going on, or not willing to come to you now thing, as you understand that now that you have created this vibrational escrow, and every time you feel the discord of not being able to make it happen, you add to the strength of it happening. In other words, every time you worry about it, you make it stronger, but every time you make it stronger and you worry about it, you pull yourself a little further apart. Okay. Every time you see someone having a intimate dinner or a wonderful walk on the beach or a relationship that is the way you want it, and you feel that pang of you don't have it yet, you shore up your desire even more, and you cause your stream to go a little faster. So you keep causing your stream to go faster, but the direction of so many of your thoughts keep causing you to go in opposition to the stream. So that's why you keep maintaining the status quo in terms of your vibrational patterning and in terms of what's happening. So you've got to do something to sort of break that evil spell, so to speak. And what it is relaxing into the idea of wanting to feel better apart from the subject that is keeping you from feeling better. And the only way that we know is to step back into the general terms and begin making statements that you know. I know I'm a good creator. I've seen evidence of it. I know that my vibrational escrow is there. I know that I have guidance. I know I can pay attention to my guidance. I know I can work this into the place that it needs to be. I know that it will eventually come. I understand that it doesn't have to come this red hot minute. I understand that if I relax, I'll even feel better in the interim. I like the idea of collecting more data. I like the idea of taking my time in making things the way I want them to be. Now, there's a little thing that we can feel there. You're feeling a little rushed, like time is of the essence, like time's getting away from you. And that's an upstream thing. That's hindering you a little bit too. So soften that by saying the amount of time is only about me coming into alignment. I could come into alignment in this afternoon. And what's manifesting right now is a clear indication of where I am. And where I am, it's sort of logical that it would be sort of like where I have been. But now's a new moment. All of my power is in the now. I'm standing here now, feeling what I'm feeling. I can feel when I'm lonely. I can feel when I'm happy. I can feel when I'm irritated. I can feel when I'm optimistic. I can feel when I'm nitpicking. I can feel what I'm doing in the moment. So from now on this subject, in this moment where all of my power is, I'm going to do something about shifting the way I've been thinking and feeling about this. I can do this. I'm good. I'm a mental person. I know how to focus. I know how to feel. My emotions are strong. I can do this. What I want is a sure thing. It's only a matter of time. I've got plenty of time. I can bring this into being. There's nothing for me to wrestle to the ground. Everything that I want is in vibrational escrow. The whole of the universe is assisting me. Law of attraction is calling me. I can tell when I'm moving toward what I want and when I'm moving away from it. I understand this now for the first time. I can do this, and it's going to be really fun. I'm going to look forward to the ease that I begin to feel, and it's going to be fun to watch different things pop up. And it's going to be fun to watch the evidence that the universe brings to me as I start relaxing. It'll be fun to see the steady string of people that the universe delivers to me who are also equal vibrational matches to what I want in my vibrational escrow. And as I start watching this steady stream of beautiful men come into my experience that are each and every one a perfect vibrational match to what's in my vibrational escrow, I might say, I have quite a choice to make here. There's that one that doesn't want to come, and there's all of you who have already come.
Thank you. I appreciate that, and I now I understand what you meant, because there are quite a few things that I am happy about. There's a lot going. I have a lot going for myself. I feel good about myself.
Yes, you do.
I'm feeling better and better and better about myself.
We can feel a butt coming on, though. So let's just let's just move on quickly.
Okay, but I got it. I got that part. Well, see, Abraham, the problem, the challenge that I had was I was in that place.
Whether you call it a problem or a challenge or not, it's still upstream.
Okay.
And do we really want to go back there? You
no,
came
I don't want to go back there.
Then shut up.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
It's hard to acknowledge that all of that I've practiced for so long isn't serving me. It's all on the tip of my tongue. And it's so much easier to talk about. And that's when you say, what is it that I'm thinking about you that I'm using as my excuse to not go where I want to go? That's where that will come in really, really handy.
Okay.
Good.
Okay,
We'll hear
thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.